floor, wood, panels, ground,
Nail.
Dirty.
crack,
Look.
inspect,
Crooked.
inspection, examine.
It was a fingerprint.
What was
It was what?
Fingerprint.
Oh, a fingerprint. All right, welcome back, everybody. This week, I think I finally came to the realization that I'm probably not going to be able to run a spring marathon. It was a tough pill to swallow, but every single race that I looked at ended up getting canceled. Let's talk about each one that I considered and the status of where it is right now. All right, so I had to pull out my phone for this one. I had the Athens Marathon listed. It was supposed to be ran on April 19th, 2020. That one got canceled. Also at the Wisconsin Marathon. That one was supposed to be run on May 2nd, 2020. Also got canceled. I was considering the Pittsburgh Marathon. That was scheduled to be run May 3rd. Canceled. The last marathon I have here on my list is the Cleveland Marathon. It's scheduled for May 17th. Last I checked, it hasn't been canceled yet, but at this point, I'm sure it'll be canceled. And even if it's not canceled, I mean, how am I going to get there? I don't think flights are really going to be accepting people for domestic travel. At this point, the caution is just to stay home and to avoid any unnecessary travel. So, since that is the recommendation going out from the government, since that is the general consensus, I'm going to adhere to that. And that's why I really, Cleveland, even the Cleveland Marathon, which hasn't been canceled yet, is just off the books for me. So that was the point when I'm like, all right, spring marathoning, it's not going to happen. At this point, I'm going to back down on my I'm going to back down on my mileage and sort of fall back into base building. And I'll keep myself in the base building stage pretty much indefinitely, man, until this thing starts to clear up and I can see a path towards training for another marathon. On that note, this was probably interesting timing to start this vlog. You know, when I first came up with this idea, I thought I was going to run with different run groups, give people an idea, tour of the city, what running was like in Atlanta. And then shortly after starting this, we come up to the coronavirus. So obviously, I won't be running around with different groups. And obviously, we're all being impacted as a running community from the COVID-19 virus. And that's just going to be interesting. I did ask my main two training partners how the coronavirus has impacted their training in their racing schedule, and this is what they had to say.
I mean, I did have a race off April 4th, but it got canceled. But honestly, I think the coronavirus for me, for my racing schedule and my training schedule, was kind of like a blessing in disguise. Because for the past couple of months, I've been injured, so I haven't been training as much. I'm not on any really good kind of fitness level. So when this virus came around, all the races that been lined up for a lot of people that I would have ran in, it got canceled. So kind of like now I have a lot of time on my hand to pretty much get back to fitness and pretty much get back to racing again. But so far so good. I mean, aside from, you know, because I train by myself anyways, and I don't train with a lot of people, so it didn't really impact me as much. But racing wise, it kind of like is a blessing in disguise for me, because now I don't have to worry about racing people that I know they've been fit all year long when I'm just coming back from a little injury.
Racing schedule wise, all the indoor track meets has been canceled, so that's a bummer. And two of my races, one which would have happened last week, and one which would have happened coming up next week, also was canceled. It's just like you train for like 6 months to a year, and then you head into peak fitness, and once you do that, like, you're ready to race. But the virus pretty much kind of essentially taking your purpose away from you. So that's like a really hard thing to kind of deal with, because yeah, like, you have a goal, and now like your goal won't pretty much be met because there is no race essentially to meet them in.
This week I got out with the family a lot. You know, we were able to participate in a lot of activities. I have a very active family, so we're still interested in just being physically fit, being physically active, spending time together as a family. We were able to get out, play a little bit of baseball. That was really fun. We went out to the park. The boys still getting a chance to play with their friends in the neighborhood, getting to run around. You know, the parks are still pretty active here, which is a good thing. People are still walking around, still feeling optimistic as we all go through this crisis together. And I think it's just important for us to keep moving, keep active. And outdoor activity still seems to be something that the government is recommending, still saying it's a good thing. We are not having people come over the house, nor are we going inside other people's houses. Any type of interaction with other people takes place outdoors in large open spaces like parks and things like that. I did get some notification from Boston Athletic Association this week asking for a preliminary decision on whether or not we were going to join them for the postponed race in September. So I got an email. The email just basically asked for you to say whether you intended to run in September or whether or not you're going to pass on that opportunity, with them recognizing people may not be able to make the adjusted schedule. I replied yes. They said the decision was non-binding. So I replied yes, that I will be joining in September. I have already adjusted my travel schedule. And that's knowing that the race in September is probably going to be a bit different than what it would have been in April. I know September in Boston can be really warm. I was listening to Let's Run podcast, and they were talking about around 12 o'clock. They checked like the last 5 years. What was the temperature in Boston for the last 5 years on this particular date? And the temperatures they were calling out were in the 70s. I think one year was as high as 80. So this is going to be, and with a high dew point as well. So chances are this is going to be a pretty warm marathon. So assuming it still goes forward, you know, assuming that we make progress as a nation with this COVID-19 virus and we're able to move forward even with the adjusted date of the Boston Marathon, I will be there, but most likely I will alter my strategy or my goal going into the race. We'll see. You know, weather's unpredictable. We never know what the weather's going to be, but if it is that warm, I certainly won't approach it as a race where I'm trying to get like a really good time, or where I'm maybe even trying to get a PR. I won't approach it that way. I'm going to approach it trying to enjoy it, celebrate it, and just share the excitement with other runners that potentially we may be back in a position where we can do things like racing. I think that'll be good for just to experience the joy of racing and the freedom and the blessing that it is to be able to come together and join in on a race with other runners. This week I think I ended up right around 60 miles even. The long run I did with, I say long run, but the Sunday run, I guess I should say at this point, my normal Sunday run that I do with Habib and Marquel, we did 12 miles. Did it at a pretty spicy clip. You know, we were somewhere, I think around, I'll put the time up, I think we were somewhere around 650s or so, with a negative split. So the back end, we sped up a bit. Lots and lots of people out there on Silver Comet Trail. So again, people still remaining active. Really good long run, and it was great to be able to go out on the run without a specific goal, without a specific distance in mind. I think Habib wanted to get 12 miles, and I said, hey, you know, we'll do that. And then, you know, if we feel like going back out afterwards to get some extra miles, we will. In this case, we didn't. So we all cut it at 12 miles, had a good run. Ended the week at about 60 miles for the week. And I think that's going to be the norm for me. My weeks going forward, at least for the foreseeable future, probably going to be in that 60, 70 mile range. And just going to enjoy running, keep myself physically fit. I'm not going to take complete time off. I don't want to have to start from zero, but I certainly don't want to try to keep myself in some sort of peak shape all through the summer. You know, I want to use this time to continue to get more sleep. I've been getting more sleep than I've gotten in a long time. Spending obviously more time with my family than I have in a long time. So just want to enjoy the extra rest, the additional time with my family, and not put any undue pressure on myself to try to maintain some fitness level for a race that may or may not even happen when you talk about our fall races. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll see you guys next week.